Good morning, students. Today we will move on to a poem, that is Animals, written by Walt Whitman. So this Walt Whitman is a major figure in the early American poetry. He is a famous American poetry in the age where all the poetry was rhymed and material. Whitman made a break with traditional and wrote a revolutionary new kind of poetry in free verses. He was a non-conformist in all respect, including his social life. So this poem, Animals, is taken from the Song of Myself in Leaves of Grasses. So this poem is taken from the Song of Myself in Leaves of Grasses. So we'll move on to a poem. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-content. So the poet is telling that I could turn means turn from the troubles of living like a human being. So poet is telling that I will turn from the life of a human being and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. They are so placid means they are not at all worried about their life and self-contained. They are very happy. I stand and look at them long and long. The poet is telling that I stand and look at them for very long hours. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. So here the animals do not mean don't worry about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sin. So poet is telling that they do not lie awake. So if we are worried, we will never feel sleepy. We won't be able to sleep. But for animals, they don't bother. If they are worried or not, they are not at all bothered. So here, they do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. The poet is telling that they do not lie awake in the bed and weep, cry for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. So here, the animals, they do not discuss their duty to God. Human beings, when they are worried, what they do? They go and pray. But here, the animals do not pray and all. They are not at all worried. No one is dissatisfied. No one is deemed with the mania of owning things. So here, the animals, no one is dissatisfied. They are satisfied with what they have. So they are not like human beings. Human beings are dissatisfied. They are not satisfied with anything. But here, the animals are not at all dissatisfied. No one is deemed the mania of owning things. No one is deemed. Deemed means here human beings, where whatever they get, they want more and more. So they are what? In the manic. They are manic for what? Grabbing things, owning things. But here the animals, they are not at all bothered about no one grabbing to another, no to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. So here poet is telling that not any animal kneels to other. They do not kneel or bow to others, not to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. But human beings, they what? Respect their ancestors, those who lived thousands of years ago. They bow to the kings or the noble people. So here, animals do not kneel to another or to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. No one is respectable or unhappy over the whole world. So no one is respected. The animals do not respect each other or unhappy over the whole world. They are not at all unhappy. They are very happy. They are not at all unhappy in the whole earth. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. They divide them plainly in their position. I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge time ago and negligently drop them? So here poet is telling that the tokens are the tokens of being human beings. So the token is a token of being a human being living in natural environment, naturally who do not bother about small things in life and remain undisturbed. So poet is telling that the tokens are the tokens of being a human being living in a natural environment, who is not bothered about small things and not at all worried in life and remain undisturbed for things which worry them. The poet feels that human beings also lived a calm life like animals in olden days. So poet thinks that in olden days human beings also lived a calm life like these animals, and they may have dropped their natural calm in the last few years. So the poet is telling that they were like animals. They were happy and satisfied with what they had early, but as time went on, they became more selfish and dropped their natural calm. Natural calm was dropped, and they became what? Wholly they were very dissatisfied. They were not satisfied with anything. They were manic in owning things. So this is the poem. Hope you have understood the poem. So we'll have a next class on a lesson. So this video is over. Next class is in the next, this week itself we have 2 lessons. That is the baker from Goa. That will be a next video.